What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV. Welcome back to the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Now kick back, relax, and come take a ride with me. We had some big matchups in women's college basketball today. There was 4 in particular that stood out to me, man, but the storylines are writing themselves at this point. People, we got South Carolina, who continues to dominate the competition. LSU got a real test today, not gonna lie to y'all. They moved to 2-0 in SEC play. Virginia Tech and NC State put on an instant classic where Liz Kitley stole the hearts of the Wolfpack. And much, much more, man. But before we get into all that, make sure y'all lock in and subscribe for all the latest and the greatest. And join our memberships. We got that exclusive content coming daily, weekly, whenever you need it. Now, let's get into it.
You are now locked into the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Here is your host, Brandon Blakeney.
So in game number 1, it was a matchup of 2 Titans in the ACC right now. Undefeated, number 3 ranked NC State on the road in the trenches of Blacksburg, Virginia to take on those Hokies who were tough. We're talking about a returning Final Four team who has one of the best 1-2 punches in the nation. And this game went absolutely down to the wire. It felt like NC State was in complete control until Virginia Tech went on that 14-2 run late in the third. Like, it really felt like this game was getting out of reach. NC State had the momentum, you know what I'm saying? They had just control of this game. They were making shots. They were getting whatever they wanted to in the first 3 quarters. When you look at the contest, this was a hard-fought, very physical contest with a lot of points in the paint. And you see Virginia Tech shot slightly better from 2-point range. But honestly, man, it was the run at the end. You know what I'm saying? Both teams were pretty evenly matched. 37 rebounds. NC State won the rebounding battle. Unfortunately, 13 turnovers cost them. Turnovers cost them. They went cold late. And it cost them their first loss of the season, first loss in conference play as well. 13 turnovers, can't have it. Got to clean that up. Looking at it, man, Sanaya Rivers continues to have an exceptional season. She had the go-ahead bucket with like 3-4 seconds left. It looked like they were taking this one home on the road against a pesky Virginia Tech team, but it did not go the way that they planned. But I'm not going to lie, this is a learning experience for NC State, man. This is still a very talented basketball team. They just had no answers for Liz Kitley. It's crazy, man, because they just did not get the play out of their team that they typically do, especially their bigs. It was a quiet night for Mimi Collins, who's been a double-figure scorer for them this season, only 9 points and 5 rebounds. You know what I'm saying? Freshman Zoe Brooks played a lot of minutes in this contest, and she stuffed the stat sheet. 8 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. She came up with some big buckets for them late as well, man, to really keep them in this contest. But Madison Hayes, the 6-foot senior who's having a career year, came up lighting it up. She's shooting over like 45% from 3. She had a big game, team high, 21 points. Whenever they need a bucket, that is who answered the call. Virginia Tech really didn't have an answer for her. And to be honest with y'all, man, we talk about the Virginia Tech 1-2 punch. Georgia Amore has been sensational. She had a slow start in this one, but really picked it up. Her and Liz Kitley combined for 48 points. 48 out of the 63, man. Like, this is just, these 2 seniors are carrying this squad. Kitley, 12 rebounds as well. She was dominant in the post. The NC State bigs just did not have an answer for her all the way up until that last shot where she put the dagger in them for the win. And, hey, that's how the cookie crumbles. But I think these teams could be seeing each other again, potentially in the, obviously, you know, These are two of the best teams in the ACC. You know what I'm saying? So obviously they match up again. It could go the other way. NC State was the road team, but this is a huge win. This is the 7th win for Virginia Tech. They lost to Iowa. We saw them lose to LSU, got their doors blown off a little bit. And ever since that loss, they have been rolling. Now, they need the supporting cast to step up and make some shots. But Amore and Kit Lee, sheesh, they are dominant. If they can continue to carry this team, they will be able to follow this two-headed monster maybe to the promised land. Who knows? Speaking of the promised land, man, it's a lot of firepower at the top of the SEC. LSU got tested today and dang near exposed, and then South Carolina got a big win. Let's start with South Carolina. So they played a very scrappy Mississippi State team who made this game ugly in the first half and really keyed in on Taina Pau. What we saw today, though, is how South Carolina could win in other ways. Yes, we know they can pound the rock inside and get paint points, but they shot 50% from 3, and we see they are much improved from the free throw line as well from that last contest. I told y'all, but literally, man, if you got Bree Hall and Pau shooting the rock like this, Raven Johnson made a 3. Like, if they're shooting 50% from 3, South Carolina is going to be scary. And that's saying something because they're already scary. I mean, they are already terrifying right now. You know what I'm saying? This was a hard-fought game, and you couldn't even tell. I mean, the fourth quarter, it got ugly. But, like, the first half and then some of the third quarter, man, this was a fight. And South Carolina really showed that they can win. They can spread the floor out. Mississippi State was clogging that paint, making things ugly, but it was no match. Pau, 12 points. You know what I'm saying? Spreading the floor with her three-point shooting ability. She's so important in that point guard position, that senior leadership that they, would be lacking without her. There's a lot of new faces, and they feel like a veteran team. She had 5 assists, 3 rebounds. They feel like a veteran team, but they're really not. Of course, Camila Cardoso doing what she does, another double-double, 13 and 14, and I'm loving that she's showing her ability to play make, man. 6 assists. She's been racking up the assists lately, man. Bree Hall, huge game for her. Knockdown shooter, long, athletic, can guard multiple positions. Like, the shooting of her and Pau are making this team. It gives them a different dynamic, a different dimension for this team, a different level, a different gear that they can hit that they were not able to last year. They have no glaring weaknesses. You got Chloe Kitts out there, 12 points. Like, the front court of Cardoso, Kitts, Ashlyn Watkins, like, she almost had a double-double as well off the bench. Like, it's just too much firepower in that front court. And then when you got the guards like Pau, Hall, Raven Johnson, playmaking, making shots, you know what I'm saying? Then you can bring a Malaysia Fulwiley off the bench. And she came in, hit a big and one, had a crazy, should have been assist, where she dished it to Cardoso after spinning through pressure 2 times. I mean, she is like, we just got to say it, man. She had a nice block. Malaysia Fulwiley is like the female version of Kyrie Irving. She plays just like him on the court, man. And this was a good win. This was a good test. This was one of those, South Carolina's going to get everybody's best shot any given night. You know what I'm saying? But I think they answered. They're getting better with every game. The chemistry is there. We keep looking at that matchup in a couple weeks. I think it's in like 3 weeks. We keep looking ahead in that matchup against LSU. And South Carolina is ahead of them right now. They haven't dealt with a whole lot of injuries. They've had their star players out there being able to get those reps and build that chemistry. I think they're deeper as a team right now. They can really dig deep into this bench. The size, they have the size to match up with Anissa Morrow as well as Angel Reese. It's just, Del Rosario is out there as well. She's a big body out of the Bronx. LSU got tested today, man. I know we're looking ahead at this matchup, Both are now 2-2 or 2-0, excuse me, in SEC play. Ole Miss, though, I think is the best defensive team that LSU has faced. They came in confident, and for 3 quarters, they fought blow for blow with LSU. They were causing turnovers. They forced turnovers on Haley Van Lith to the point where she had to get subbed out, and they put in Last Poa. And I don't know, like, the way that she came in and managed the game, Poa off the bench, like, just calming things down, being that presence they needed at the point guard position to just take care of the basketball, break these full court presses that Ole Miss was going, get the ball into the post, because they were lacking post feeds, man. Like, Angel Reese needs to be touching the ball more. Anissa Morrow never looked comfortable in this contest, man. Now, Michaela Williams, she was getting busy. Michaela Williams in her first SEC road game went for 20 points. Off the dribble, she's just not fair. You know what I'm saying? She made one young lady out there fall, stared at her for a minute, and proceeded to hit the tray ball. She got off to a fast start early, and without her, they probably would have lost this game. She was the most consistent player for them. And I said Angel Reese needed more touches. She had 21 and 9. You know what I'm saying? Breaking that streak of double-doubles. They were physical. Ole Miss was a physical team. They were physical. They were making Angel Reese work. They were making Morrow work. They put Del Rosario in there, and we saw her just being a physical specimen in there with her size. I'm still thinking that Coach Kim Mulkey is finding out her rotation. They're still figuring things out. With Poa coming in, you know, she had 3 assists, 2 rebounds. That's not going to jump out at you on the stat sheets numbers-wise, but the way that she came in, her poise, and calmed this team down and helped them to set this offense up and break those full-court presses was major. Flau'jae Johnson turns in another incredible performance where she's just the ultimate glue player for this team, blocking shots, guarding up, grabbing rebounds, shooting the basketball, getting to the post, running hard in transition, finishing layups. Like, as long as Flau'jae is good, I think this team is always going to have a fighting chance. Haley Van Lith made a couple threes. She came in, 4 assists. We're seeing the assist-to-turnover ratio come full circle for her. She's not having to be the number 1 scoring option. She's really like the 3rd or 4th option on this group. And, you know, we need to see more assists from her, but this is a transition. She was getting a lot more shots at Louisville, and now she's not getting the same shot volume at LSU because there's so much talent. I mean, they had, 5 players. 5 players. The whole starting lineup played in double figures. You know what I'm saying? They went 8 deep this time. Man, this was just a hard-fought game. I think, to be honest, I think Ole Miss is building something special, man. I really do. They just got to make more shots. I mean, 3 for 10 from 3. You know, you missed the 5 free throws. They just missed a lot of shots, to be honest. LSU was pretty bad from the free throw line. They got a lot of fouls, though. 20 fouls. There were 40 fouls in this game. Ole Miss has got to cut down on turnovers. They are not good enough to turn it over 18 times and beat LSU. But they did an incredible job of forcing LSU into 14 turnovers. I mean, this was a really physical game. Honestly, this was the best team. This was the best team that LSU has played so far from a defensive standpoint. They were scrappy. They just didn't have enough offense. But LSU got exposed a bit, man. We've seen that if you start trapping those screens, guards out there be making mistakes, man. That ball pressure, that full court pressure gave them fits until they moved Angel Reese up the top and was letting her operate from the top of the key in the center of the court because they was trapping them on those baselines, man. It was getting ugly, but hey, they got a big win. And then, of course, you know, Uconn continues to roll. I told y'all after that UNC game, that win, that they were going to turn it on and really just win after win after win. Paige Beckers looks like this is the best ball she's playing in her entire career. She looks better than before she did with the injuries. We're seeing Nika Mule out there dishing. I mean, she continues to be one of the best point guards, one of the best assist players, just assist playmakers in the nation. She continues to just dish that rock and make shots. They continue to overcome injuries, man. They blow the doors off of Georgetown on the road. Aaliyah Edwards has been sensational. 18 points, 3 assists, 6 rebounds. She continues to just be a force in the middle, one of the best bigs in the country. Becker's stuffing the stat sheet, 15 points, 5 assists, 4 boards. We mentioned Mule, 14 points, 8 assists, led the team, 3 rebounds. You got KK Arnold, the freshman, continuing to play big minutes, 12 points for her. A balanced effort, man, 5 assists, running the point guard. Ashlyn Shade had a big game, 16 points, career day for her as well. Like, we're seeing the balance. We're seeing them guard. We're seeing them play defense. You know what I'm saying? Like a typical Gino Auriemma run team. They held Georgetown to 34% from the field, 6 of 23, 26% from 3. I mean, you know what I'm saying? They just made it tough. And this game was never in doubt, man. Forced 20 turnovers, only had 8 turnovers. You love to see that, taking care of the basketball, sharing the basketball. I think UConn's going to be just fine, man. I really hope that they do get a couple of those players that are up in the air. I'm hoping, you know what I'm saying? I'm hoping they get Aubrey back. That's major having that size, the athleticism, that versatility. So we'll see. But, hey, Becker's and the gang, Aaliyah Edwards, are going bananas, talking about another 1-2 punch that has been just productive this season, helping those Huskies continue to rack up the wins. Now, there were a few other games we're going to talk about in part 2 tomorrow, but we just had to hit on a few storylines that were going on today. We continue to look at that big matchup with LSU and South Carolina. It's a collision course that's bound to happen in the SEC right now. The ACC has big matchups. We're going to talk about that UNC and Notre Dame game as well. It hasn't happened yet at the time that I'm recording this, but we'll talk about that as well. The Pac-12 loaded. Juju Watkins leading USC. Colorado. Cameron Brink has been sensational for Stanford. You got Alyssa Peely out there at Utah going bananas, one of the most versatile players in the nation. So many storylines. Hannah Hidalgo facing off against Deja Kelly. Like, this is going to be, I love Usby with that team as well, UNC. She's coming off a triple dub. You know what I'm saying? Like, Virginia Tech is one of the hottest teams in the nation. They've won 7 straight. And South Carolina's won like 40-something plus straight SEC games. Like, it's just a lot going on right now, man. And then we also, on top of all that, are witnessing possibly the best freshman class to come through in like the last 20 years, y'all. It's just madness. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about the situation. Holla at your boy. Let me know biggest storylines, biggest wins, surprise wins, best conference. Man, I just love chopping it up with y'all. Thank y'all so much for showing so much support to the channel. Continue to hit that subscribe button. Continue to like. Continue to share. Continue to comment. Continue to holler at your boy. You know, with no further ado, though, that's a wrap for us. Until next time, hey, we out.